based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences, who's had to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land and is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities, from housing to making sure that our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents can afford medicine, and making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents that are too high, and are committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act so everybody's got help here, and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have...
Welcome back. It is a new day. We thank the good Lord. It's a new day. Thank God it is a new day. So good to see you. Thanks for stopping by again. It's me again, WGNI Channel 1 Life Mini Season. Real quick, before I get out of the way and let this rip. This is President Obama, whom I voted for twice. I voted Obama twice. A respectable man, but now he's campaigning for Harris, whom seems to have a bit of a problem with black men. So here you have Obama talking to specifically black men, and he thinks supporting Trump is not acceptable. Now, let's see what he has to say, and then we're going to go over to some other analysis, and then end with the CNN panel on what they think about this. Obama going out and stumping for Harris. Please put your comments in the comment section below. This is interesting. Let us go.
Have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person. And you're thinking about sitting out? I'm not.
You want to sit out.
But, you know, because of Putin, and you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that. Because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that.
I have to stop President Obama there for a second. I don't think that's the problem. I know for me, the issue that I have is the fact that I don't feel like Harris is strong enough. It's not about being a woman, quite frankly. It's about being the right woman if the person is a woman. Makes no difference. But when somebody's not solid enough, I challenge Obama with this. I challenge you with this. If it was someone like Hillary Clinton on the Democratic side, Condoleezza Rice, and your dear Queen Michelle Obama, I bet you the conversation will be different. But people just don't feel Kamala. I know for me, especially for the office of the highest position in the world, I don't think it's about being a woman. I disagree. Humbly disagree, President Obama. I humbly disagree with you on that. I don't think that's the issue black men have. Okay? I think it's much more than that. It's just the fact that most of black men don't feel comfortable with her leadership. She hasn't shown enough track record in history that proves her to be a leader we can fall behind. And I'm sorry, I can't just fall behind someone blindly. This is the office of the President of the United States of America, which you have held for 8 years, and you know what it entails. I humbly say your gray hair came from the 8 years of service. Thank you for your service, sir. Let's go on.
The women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time.
We get that, but that's not the...
They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And when we get in trouble, when the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching and protesting. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable.
As much as I like President Obama and I respect him, I have to disagree with him on this. I think it's much more than just the fact that men don't want to follow or vote for Kamala because she's a woman. No, it's because she hasn't proven herself. Well, let's listen to another black man from a conservative perspective respond to this and what he thinks or why he thinks black men are going in Trump's direction. And then we're going to end with the CNN panel, because I think CNN panel is always quite a very fascinating panel. I really love to watch them, and I'm sure you do as well. So let's just listen to this, and then we'll go over to the CNN panel and end with that. And I have something I need to say at the end of this. It's going to be real quick. What I think could be one of the possibilities why black men are not falling in line with Kamala Harris. So stay tuned. Let's go.
Yesterday, he essentially said that she is the inheritor of the political movement that he started in 2008.
But Ainsley, that's part of the problem. It's a lecture to black men. It's not about our economic circumstance. It's not about how we view the border and people taking the jobs that would traditionally go. I have a construction worker that I spoke to in a barbershop. We're going to play the series very soon in Detroit. And he said, I don't want to admit this, but when Donald Trump shut down the border, the wages were raised in my construction industry. He said this on camera. And he goes, on that issue alone, I had to give him a look. And so what former President Barack Obama is speaking to emotion. He's not speaking to the grievances of black men, which is why there is such a divide. And I'm sorry, he has a lot of swagger. He speaks candidly to the brothers, but that's not enough to get a lot of them to support Kamala Harris.
You said it's not.
It's not so clean.
What is it that you think black men like about Donald Trump?
Well, they want to take care of their families. And so
It's about money.
If even the people that don't necessarily like Trump's personality, everyone always says, well, I had more money in my pocketbook, right? The grocery store prices were low. I may not like the bombast when it comes to the border, but you know what? is getting out of control. And those issues alone are enough to swing election. I'm not going to lie to you and say, hey, 80% of black men are going to vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah,
but if
that's
30
not
to
true.
35% of black men switched their affiliation to the Republican Party, it's game over.
And
I
Hispanic
agree.
men.
So there you have it. That's another perspective. So what do you think? Do you agree? Now we save the best for the last. We're going over to the CNN panel to see what they have to say about this. Fasten your seatbelts. Let's go.
Message. This is a very stern message.
Let me ask you a question, Abby and Nina. Let me say, I find it very interesting that we're trying to reach out to white men. We're trying to reach out to black men. The people whose rights are really on the ballot right now are women. And we're begging all these men to pay attention to us and to care enough about this election, to vote, to come out, to support us. I feel like Barack going on the campaign trail right now makes perfect sense. Of course, right? He's a top surrogate for Democrats. He should be out there doing the work right now. I think it's so amazing to me that with women's rights on the line, we're spending so much time focusing on making sure men care.
Because
This lady sounds like a bubblehead, like an airhead. What is she talking about? Every gender is important. You need every vote. Who is this lady? Anyway, let's go on.
When I was a delegate for President Obama in both of his elections in Ohio, right now the vice president is down 11 points in Ohio, even though I fully
not good.
expect President Trump to take Ohio as he did twice, but to be down 11 points compared to President Biden, that is a problem. But this other issue I want to bring up is a problem too. Why are black men being lectured to?
Thank you.
Why are black men being belittled in ways that no other voting group? Now, a lot of love for former President
If this lady, Nina, were running, I'll be voting for her right now. Somebody cares about the black man. And that's all we are talking about. Can somebody just give us a listening ear? Please listen. Let's just go back.
Obama. But for him to single out black men is wrong. And some of the black men that I have talked to have their reasons why
Absolutely.
they want to vote a different way. And even if some of us may not like that, we have to respect it. So unless President Barack Obama is going to go out and lecture every other group of men from other identity groups, message for Democrats is don't bring it here to black men who, by and large, don't vote much differently from black women. And what, as a politician, we should be trying to get all voters to vote. And hopefully there
Absolutely.
are a few good men out there who do care
Absolutely.
about the stripping away of some of women's bodily autonomy. But this is wrong for President Obama. It is a wrong course for the Harris-Walz campaign to lay at the feet of black men when they have their reasons. In 2020, the vice president was labeled a cop, as we know.
But do you think, sorry to interrupt you, Nina, but do you think he's right that some of the one of the reasons is because they don't like the idea of
It might be
women
some.
in the White
Listen,
House?
black men are socialized in the same society as any other man. So yes, is misogyny may be a part of it, but again, is President Obama and is the Harris-Walz campaign going to lecture other male groups in the same way that they're lecturing?
This is
black
not just
men?
about.
I don't think so.
There we have it. What do you think about that? What Nina just said. I totally agree. And by the way, Nina, she doesn't support President Trump, nor does she support Kamala Harris. So she's neutral right now. I don't know how she's going to vote. I really don't know this lady, but I do connect with what she's saying. And she shares the sentiments of most men. Why do you have to single out the black man? Anyway, let me get back to what I think, and I will close this out. Thanks for hanging with me. To be quite honest with you, in the black community, black men totally feel unheard. They feel emasculated, mostly by black women. Now, the number one reason I believe more black men are not voting for Kamala, it's not even with a gender thing. It's her competence. No track record to show that anything will be different from the prior 4 years. And she said it herself. She was asked the question, what would you do differently from Biden? She says nothing. So, I mean, hearing that, and then she hasn't really proven anything. And then you talk about putting black men in jail, and the list goes on and on and on. So there's really nothing to hold on to other than she's black. And that is just not enough. For a thinking black man, that is not going to cut it. And on top of that, knowing that the most beatdown a black man has received is from a black woman. Some, it's a psychological thing and revolting in that regard. And some are thinking from economic perspective. Please put your comments in the comment section below. Let us know what you think. Is Obama right? Is he wrong? Is he neither? Claiming, talking to black men. Let me speak to y'all. Black man supporting Trump is not acceptable, says President Barack Obama. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. You know how we like to close it out. Just like to remind ourselves that we always remember we got one life with many seasons. So let's make the best of it. God bless you, and I'll see you soon. You take care now. Bye for now.